individual voter.
Yeah.
The Republicans have a different problem, boy, I hate to say it this way, Sean, but I think Republican politicians don't like to think. I think as a group they get together and they chant slogans, and they find it very hard to pay attention to the serious, fundamental lessons that are necessary.
You look at the slate of Republican candidates, and, I hear that they want to win the war in Iraq, stay on offense in the war on terror. Every one of them is talking about securing our borders. They all want to lower taxes. They don't want to nationalize health care. They want free market solutions. Is that thinking enough or not enough?
Well, let me give you an example. We just had the Michigan primary. Here was an opportunity to go into a state which has had an artificial recession. Other than states hit by Katrina, no state in America has had as much job loss as Michigan. All of it artificial, caused by terrible government in Detroit and terrible government in Lansing. And by the way, the reaction of the liberal Democrats to Michigan collapsing was, let's raise taxes.
Yeah.
Now, here's how bad it is. 40% of the students at Michigan State and the University of Michigan plan to leave the state as soon as they graduate.
Yeah.
Yet no Republican went in and said, here is a fundamental critique of what we need to do for Michigan to be healthy.
Well, the last time I was in Detroit, it is a city that has been devastated. I saw more homes boarded up in one of the greatest cities in America. I spent a lot of time with the guys at General Motors describing the impact the government policies have had on their industry and how there's a lot of competition in this country, but they're not allowed to have access to the markets of companies that are excelling here.
Well, let me give you an example. And we cite this in Real Change and spend a good bit of time in Detroit.
And Katrina, both of them.
And in 1950, Detroit had 1,800,000 people and had the highest per capita income in America. Today, after a half century of terrible government, Detroit has shrunk to 950,000 people, and its number is 62 in per capita income. Now, this is a tragedy worth studying because it is vivid proof that the big bureaucracy, big regulation, big litigation, high tax model of the left kills jobs, kills hope, and cripples the future.
You talk about we did it before, we can do it again, and that's always been the history of America. Relay that to the upcoming election, which I know our audience is very focused on. In other words, who would be better at doing it again?
If somebody would go out to the American people, lay it on the line, accept the ridicule of the New York Times, accept the ridicule of the elite media, accept the assault of the public employee unions, and talk about the scale of change we really need, I think they'd win a stunning upset.